Hey guys, how's it going? Pawinning here. I am with my buddy Tom and his friend Nick right behind us. We are currently on the way to pick up another E36. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, I kind of hinted that I was going to pick it up with a deposit. I actually placed a deposit on it last week. Got more details to explain about this car, and we got about an hour drive ahead of us, so we'll catch you guys in just a little bit.
This is not going to be just some one and done deal. We're going to buy this car. It's probably barely running.
Yep.
And we've got to limp it like 50 miles back with leaking coolant, probably oil, probably head gasket problems, probably every possible thing that would toast a car on the way back. And we've got to make sure that it gets it home because we probably won't be able to get it back before the daylight runs out. It has headlights, right? Do the lights work?
I think so. I think so. I hope so.
I got like a high-funk flashlight.
Oh, rev
that
hang.
rev hang.
Oh, it burns my insides. The new Acuity shifter. This is the first time I'm driving it, and it's like really stiff. It's pretty dope. Like, it's kind of weird because now this is the sturdiest part of the car. Kind of odd because, like, before, it's nice, tight steering, everything's like a little soft. It's a Honda, it's an SI, it's not even a Type R. But now this new shifter setup, it's like Porsche level. Oh, rev hang. You gotta dial out a lot of other things because now the shifter is the best part of the car. So we want the clutch to be more tactile, which it's not, and we want this rev hang to go away because it makes me sad.
We are now here at the E36 I'm about to buy. I'll flip this camera around. Look at this thing right here. What I really like about this car is the fact that the interior is just looking really, really nice. This is probably the nicest interior I'm about to drive in. The way I wanted this to go was I would have put some fresh oil in, get a filter, and then like drain all the fluids out and just flush it all out. Like, that's the ideal situation. But we're an hour away. I don't feel like spending an entire day doing a flush.
So what's the Pawinning method? Let's give us the rundown.
The quick Pawinning method is to try and hope that Bars Leaks Sealant lives up to its name. I do have a spare engine at the very least, so I'm not that worried, but this is more to just see if it actually works, because if it does, I'm gonna be so happy. Pour liquid copper block seal into the radiator. If using in a small cooling system, such as a 4-cylinder with no air conditioning, install half a bottle.
It doesn't say anything else though, it just says that.
Yeah, it says fill
I like
the
how it says install.
Yeah.
It says fill the
Does it mean the whole
radiator
bottle?
and overflow tank to the proper level and reinstall the radiator cap. I'm expecting it not to work and then calling AAA and then seeing how much damage I do when I take this actually apart all the way. Owners filled up some water jugs for me, so whatever leaks, I think I should be covered for a couple miles, so wish me luck, guys. Yeah, we didn't make it out of the neighborhood. We're literally a mile down the road. Tom is just laughing his ass off. You guys should definitely check out the video he's filmed on today.
Do we ever take the easy path, Pawinning?
No, I mean, come on, we gotta, I wouldn't say this is the high road, this is the, So now, thankfully, we have a friend coming from Cambridge, Mass.
Ren Scott,
you are the man. I'm going to be buying you a nice dinner. It's getting a little cold, so we decided to just chill in the Civic. Now that we're just waiting, it'd be a good time to kind of talk about what my plans are for this car. So the goal is just to put myself in the shoes of the average Joe, go back to my roots and start from scratch, get a car running nicely enough so that you have a nice base car to really build it and make it your own. And we're still waiting. Was it David's probably 15, 20 minutes out right now?
hopefully, yeah.
All right, time to get the car started. Let's see how much smoke this thing is still spitting out. Okay, let's see if the battery's still alive. Hey! Do the lights work? Ho-ho, lights work. That's good at least. So whatever sealant's in the motor, I'm praying that it doesn't clog anything further. But we'll see how it is when we tear everything down, but I'm pretty happy that the thing at least runs for us to drive it onto a trailer. Thank you. Big shout out to this man right here.
Go, 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 go.
right, well, so much for making it 20 miles. All right, 40 more to go. Only an hour and a half later.
Well, when did you actually start?
Well, I got there at 2:30.
Oh boy.
We're just dismounting the car. I'm literally just gonna drive it into the driveway. I'm not even gonna bother tonight to put it into the garage. I'll probably deal with that tomorrow, so I will catch you guys then. All right, guys, so we're back at the garage. The E36 is just chilling right next to my Civic. So the reason why I'm back here today is to kind of show you guys around the car a little bit better, show you guys what's good about the car and what's bad about the car, and why I think a $600 price tag on the vehicle was a fair price. Now, to kind of change topics to the 318 Ti that's on the other side of the garage, I think I'm gonna cut my losses with that, because after inspecting the chassis a little bit more thoroughly, it's not as straight as I anticipated to be, and the amount of actual bodywork and rust repair that I'd have to do to it to really get it to a safe and drivable condition is a lot more work than I think it will be in comparison to this new car, which really only has rot from my own inspection on one side of the car, on the passenger side specifically. But all that I'll show you guys in just a sec once we kind of go around the car and give it a nice once over. I guess I'll start off with what is a negative about this car. Okay, so starting off with this rear quarter panel, I have no idea what has been done, but this was not done by the previous owner I purchased it from. It's actually done from the person before that. So I don't know what was going on in the person's mind, but in my opinion, this could have been done a lot better. But continuing down the side of the car, you can start seeing duct tape. But initially I was really concerned that there was nothing behind this panel, but there still is metal somewhat. But if you were to go underneath the car, it is in pretty rough shape. The actual rear jack point is completely collapsed in. So going under the front passenger side of the rocker panel, you can see that there's supposed to be some sort of jack point right here, but the lack of, and due to the cracking around this whole entire panel, I feel like this entire rocker panel along the entire side has been replaced at some point, and the person that had done the repairs honestly didn't really do that good of a job. That being said, I don't know when was this repaired or how long ago this has been repaired, but regardless, this is all going to be replaced eventually. So putting myself into the shoes of a new car enthusiast, this project looks intimidating because of the amount of rust that you see here and because of the unknown amounts of actual sheet metal that's left over. I have no idea whether or not I'm going to be able to do these repairs on my own. I might actually consult a couple friends before I actually do so. But again, at the very least, it's nice to know that there are replacement panels available to replace at least the section that is concerning on this car. Okay, moving towards the front of this car. That does not look right at all. The entire alignment of the wheel is no longer centered within the actual wheel well of the front fender. I haven't actually dived into the suspension of the car deep enough to really figure out what is exactly causing this misalignment right here, but the car kind of drives straight. So at the very least, I do think that whatever is wrong with it is definitely repairable within my abilities. Moving towards the front of the car, we have these interesting headlights. I have never seen these in person. I've only ever seen them on eBay, but they work. The high beams work, the low beams work, the signals on this side work, the other side doesn't. But in general, I do have working headlights on this car, and they're even stock headlights in the trunk, so I have 2 pairs of headlights for this car, which is awesome. Front grille assembly definitely needs a lot more love. It looks like it got crunched in at some point and pulled back out. I'll probably end up just replacing the panel anyways, because you can pick those up for like $30. Front bumper is fully intact, surprisingly. So moving on to the driver's side of the car, you can see that it is really, really straight. Now, if you were to go inspect the rocker panel on this side, all the sheet metal is here. It's all solid. It's never been replaced. There's a little bit of rust. Yeah, that jack point is definitely gonna have to be cut out and repaired, just like the other side. Just like the convertible, it's gonna need some work, but at the same time, these jack points do hold up pretty well, even though they're kind of rusted out. The front jack point is pretty darn intact, actually. I can feel all the sheet metal underneath, and it also doesn't show any signs of being caved in. Moving over to the rear quarter panel, again, some old rust repair that has probably been done within the last 2 or 3 years. The reason why I say that is because there's no clear coat on this paint, and the rust that has been covered up is starting to bubble up a little bit, and in New England it doesn't really take that long to have it start lifting again on you. And then moving towards the back of the car, we have a nice fresh set of taillights. I believe these are the same brand of taillights that are currently on my E36 Coupe. They're just as cheap as the OEM ones, but I actually like the clarity of the clear plastic on the actual taillight itself. It kind of gives a nice color and it pops a little bit better in my opinion. But anyways, irregardless, trunk, very straight, no dents or dings. The actual rear section of the actual chassis here has a little bit of rust that's typical on a lot of E36s in New England. It's not as bad as I expected. It doesn't look like it's going underneath too bad, so I may be able to repair that rust on my own fairly easily. All right, looking underneath to the exhaust. What exhaust? Oh my God, I did not realize that there was literally just a straight pipe. Maybe, I don't know what's there. Maybe that's a cat or something that's still left. So that piping explains why this car was pretty freaking loud the other day, but I kind of like it, to be honest. All right, so enough of thrashing on the car, and let me show you guys the interior, because the interior was a definite reason why I bought this car. Now, it's missing a couple trim pieces here and there. It's missing a speaker, but if you look at the rest of the interior, look at how all these panels are seemingly intact still. And none of it's really faded. There's a little bit of wear on some of the seats, but in general, this entire interior looks like it could be cleaned up pretty darn nicely. Even like the headliner still looks pretty darn good. I was told that the sunroof doesn't really work, but I'm not really concerned about that too much. All right, opening the back door here. The carpeting needs a little bit of cleaning, but nothing seems to be torn up, rotted. There's no evidence that any sort of creatures have been living in this car. This is honestly the cleanest interior I've ever owned in an E36. Despite a clean interior, here are a couple more things that are a little bit concerning. The play in the shifter is so terrible that going into reverse actually breaks into the trim piece. Oh my God, like, so I'm gonna have to definitely take apart the entire shifter assembly. It does not look good under there at all. Even with all the slop though, all the gears still shifted very, very smoothly. So that was a big surprise. And classic, just like my E36 habits in the past, look at this handbrake. Oh my God, what is this box anyways that was holding it? Oh, the car started rolling. Key box battery. Vape Nation, brah. But yeah, so this handbrake, just like my convertible, all the teeth on this handbrake are dead. This box is pretty sturdy, so I'm gonna keep it on this handbrake here. Okay, good enough. Hood could open a little bit better. One thing about this hood, like every other E36 hood, doesn't hold up long term, but shocks are really cheap. They're like 40 bucks for a pair. It's missing on the other side, so that's the reason why it is not staying open at all. One thing I do like seeing in this car is the fact that there is a brand new alternator right there. That's like the shiniest piece of metal out of the entire engine bay. Aside from some fan trim pieces like a fan shroud and everything, all the components seem to be there. There's the stock airbox. That silicone hose has an interesting tape job on it. But other than that, the whole car runs okay, aside from that blown head gasket, of course. I'm pretty confident that I can get this engine running pretty smoothly. Oh, and by the way, there's no AC in this car. Can you guys tell? And also from the looks of it, even though there's a blown head gasket, it looks like this radiator has been replaced because the plastic looks fairly new. The hosing looks fairly new up front. There's going to be a lot of components that I am going to be replacing in this engine just to make sure it is roadworthy and get inspected successfully. All right, guys, so we're in the garage itself. I have the 318 in a pile of junk right behind me, so I'm gonna show you guys in just a second what is actually wrong with the chassis and the reasons why I might be getting rid of it. But at the same time, you guys get to kind of see my progress on the renovation. I also have been filming, but I haven't really been able to edit any of that content yet, mainly because I've been prioritizing other projects on top of it. Hopefully, by the end of winter, I'll have a nice space to start working on cars to really ramp up the quality of my workspace for the summer. So the reason why I'm thinking about getting rid of the TI is mainly because, like the 318i, there is extensive rocker panel rust. Now, the reason why you see this steel plate here is because this steel plate is about 8 inches wide. Now, this covers up a gaping hole on the bottom of the chassis so that I can just hold it up with a jack stand here. And this is the same on the other side as well, and also towards the rear of the car. But the rear of the car actually has the jack point intact, but it's all the way caved in. That's why you don't really see the head of the jack stand. It's all the way caved in on the inside. Now, going towards the back quarter panel of this 318 Ti, there's already been a substantial amount of repair on this rear quarter panel. So the metal is right here, but as you get up to here, it's like all crumbly. And honestly, the rust has extended all the way up to this entire area, and it's hard to tell how much of this is sheet metal and how much of this is Bondo. All right guys, so that being said, it is time to part ways with this 318 Ti. It is sad to say that, but I've had my fun with it. I've learned a lot pulling out the engine, transmission, and the interior, to the point where I think I can help a bunch of you guys if you choose to do so on your own E36 318 Ti projects. So I am excited to start working on a 318i because for $600, I really think I got a pretty good deal on this car. And I'm also excited to kind of take you guys along the journey to, one, repair the head gasket issue on that car, repair all the alignment issues in the suspension, patch up a bunch of the bodywork, clean up the interior, and really show you guys what it takes to bring a $600 E36 roadworthy again, to the point where it's a nice base point to start modding your car. So to stay updated on all my projects, don't forget to check me out on Instagram and Facebook as well. And if you guys enjoyed the contents of the video, don't forget to throw a like and also throw a comment below and tell me what you guys think of the fresh E36. Good or bad comments, I don't mind. It's all constructive criticism to me. I appreciate your support as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.